And we're live. Let's actually make sure it's live real quick. I'm going to make sure that we are actually live. And yes, it is. Okay. Hey, everybody, welcome back to A Look into Leadership, where we go behind the scenes of the lives of entrepreneurs, thought leaders, and business owners, and what were the experiences that shaped them into a successful person. My name is Eric Howell, and today we are going to be talking about the smartest way to make $10,000 in a month in 2024, not 2023, not 2022, maybe 2025. I don't know. If you're watching this in 2025, let us know if these things still apply. But before we do that, I have to give Quinn the secret word of the day. Today's secret word is Erewhon. Quinn, say
Arrow,
Erewhon.
Arrow one? Is that what I'm saying? Arrow one?
Say Erewhon, Quinn.
Arrow one, Quinn?
No.
No, no.
Erewhon.
Arrow, arrow. Sounds like I'm trying to say everyone, but like with
I
the
know, right?
kid.
Do you know what it means?
No.
So I think the actual word means nobody, I think. I don't know what language it is, but it is a grocery store. Now, why am
You
I
mean
bringing up a
air
grocery
one?
store? Yeah, I said it correctly, right?
No.
Well, okay, fine.
It's air
Fine.
one.
I don't, okay, let me just explain. Let me explain the story first, and then all this will make sense, okay?
Okay.
I saw a TikTok the other day. I was watching TikTok, scrolling
Hmm.
mindlessly, and I saw a video, and it said the different like classes of people and what grocery store you shop at. So like lower
Hmm.
class, you're shopping at Dollar Tree, and then like lower middle class, you're shopping at Walmart, and then it's like Aldi, and then it's like middle class, you're shopping at Trader Joe's, and then like the high of the high class was this Air one,
Air one.
and okay, when I looked it up, it said Erewhon. Google lied to me. Okay, anyways, um, and I had never even heard of that place. I'm like, okay, this is so rich that I've never even heard of it. That's how rich it is. So, can you explain
Uh,
to me what what Air one is?
so there's actually also another one, and it's in the Hamptons, but I can't remember what it's
Mm,
called. There's one that's like even I think more expensive than Air One. But Erewhon is a grocery store, and I think it's mostly known for like celebrities and other um, people that don't mind spending like $30 for a water bottle.
right.
And I think they went viral on TikTok probably for the Haley Bieber like drink. It's called like a smoothie or something like that.
Mm.
And you'll see a bunch of TikToks where I'm on the side of TikTok where they just like eat a bunch of food and show you all the different crazy things that they find. And because the kids like to watch TikTok with me, and for some reason that's their favorite thing to watch. They like even like food competitions. And I'm like, I'm tired of watching this person stuff their face, and they're like, this is so cool. Like, but anyways, so with Erewhon, you go in there and you can anything that you would normally buy, even at like Whole Foods or something,
Mm.
you're gonna see it like 10 times more expensive.
Wow.
What's the
I mean,
reason?
Whole Foods is too much for me. I can't afford Whole Foods. That stuff is like $100 is like a chocolate bar or something. I don't even know.
Yeah, I love Whole Foods. I can, like, if I walk into Whole Foods or Natural Grocer, I love the smells. It
Mm.
makes me feel like I'm at home.
It does smell good.
But
I used to work at a natural grocery store. Um, but I'm an Aldi man. I like Aldi, and they actually just dropped their prices. Like they did a whole thing. I saw a news thing about how they're going to be dropping prices because of inflation. Like they're trying to fight against
hmm
it. I don't know why, but I went to Aldi yesterday, and we bought two entire grocery carts full of groceries, and it was less than $200. I'm telling you.
oh my goodness,
You need to go to Aldi if you haven't. And the thing
I
about
do.
Aldi is they don't like put junk in their stuff, so they're like dyes and like syrups and crap. Like it's mostly clean. It's a great place to shop.
That's
Aldi,
what I
sponsor
try to
us.
do is I go yeah. I try to go to Aldi simply because it makes it a lot easier because I have kids with food allergies or they're
Mm,
allergic to like food dyes and stuff. And trying to live in 2024 in the US at least.
mm,
Probably a lot of other places. but trying to just live like you normally would when you have things that you have to be considerate of, like they're allergic to dairy, they're allergic to food dyes, my son's allergic to peas, all these different things. It's like you trying to eat healthy, you're going to end up spending half your paycheck if you were to just not be frugal, you know?
I know, it's crazy.
So,
That is why we need to teach people the smartest way to make $10,000, because that seems to be everybody's kind of goal. Like, I need to make $10,000 a month. I hear that from every single entrepreneur that I've ever talked to. Like, that seems to be the
mhm.
goal. I don't know why $10,000 is that magic number, but it seems to be like the magic number that everybody wants to get to, myself included. So I can't really say much.
Yeah, I think that it just depends on like what location you're in. But when I think about it, most people, I think, besides the fact that there's marketing, a lot of marketing out there always is like, learn how to make 10K. This, I mean, like we're using it right now, like learn how to make 10K. And
True.
because it's such an easy number, and people in their head, I think, equate to, even though the math is not correct, I think that they think about six figures is at least 10K a month.
Yeah.
And when you, there was a recent study that came out, and it was like showing based off of like each geographical location as far as like the United States, if you're in this state, it needs to be, you need to be earning this much. Like in Oklahoma, it was 190 something thousand for a family of four to live comfortably. And nobody in Oklahoma makes that much,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
barely anybody. So I think when they
I
think
know,
about
especially with all
10K,
the tornadoes. Like, how are we supposed to survive? I have to keep rebuilding my house.
yeah, like they might learn how to make 191,000, but they're gonna have to build a new house.
I know, or like a tornado shelter. That's where all the money's going.
Yeah, I know. Like we've had friends that are in the area, and it's like really constantly. You get texts in the middle of the night because the storms keep coming in the middle of the night, and so you never know. That's the one thing where I was talking with someone recently. I know this is such a sidetracked moment, but
I know. It's okay.
hurricanes are nicer
What?
in my
Hurricanes
hurricanes
are
are
nice. Quinn,
nice.
2024.
Hurricanes are nicer because they give you an advantage of knowing that it's on its way.
Yeah.
And because when I grew up, I used to live in Florida, and we would have to evacuate the house and leave and all this stuff because obviously, like there's one time where our house was underwater,
Hmm.
and but we had the advance notice when we moved to like Texas and Oklahoma and all this area, like I guess Midwest or whatever you want to call it, or the South, this side, it was tornadoes, and tornadoes just pop up
Oh yeah.
out of
We had
nowhere.
one the other night. Like I woke up at 2 a.m. with my phone just like screaming at me, and so I got the kids and we went and sat in the hallway. It was a whole thing. It's like, geez, this is inconvenient.
It is inconvenient, and it makes it scary. Like for people that are trying to like just even survive
Hmm.
inflation, now they're like, what do I do about
Hmm.
making sure that I'll be safe? So, besides all of that, maybe we'll cut that out of the actual podcast.
Yeah, I think we will.
Um,
Do
before
you
we
have an
get
icebreaker
into
for me?
Yeah, before we get into that, I have an icebreaker for you, and it's a
Okay.
different kind of icebreaker than we normally would do. I'm gonna just
Ah.
ask you kind of a question that is, it goes along with our theme, and it's, what's the one thing that you wish you would have known sooner about making money?
The one thing that I wish I would have known about making money is that I think that you can just ask people for money. You can just make offers. Before, like, I kind of thought this was kind of a hard thing. Like, I was afraid to just, like, straight up ask somebody for money, but, like, they're not going to necessarily come to you all the time. Like, sometimes you have to go to them and, like, ask
Mm-hmm.
them, hey, I'm doing this thing. Would you like to be in it? And so,
Right.
I don't know, maybe just being a little less shy and realizing that I can be the one to make the first move. That's probably what it is. Yeah.
That's a good one. There's a lot of people that are really nervous about asking for money, and I think when they think about it, I think the misconception is that when you're asking for somebody for money, is that you're like almost like a weird feeling of like using them or mooshing
Mm-hmm.
off of them, or that's what I've heard from other people that have said that they struggled with that feeling, or that they wouldn't live up to what they were offering, you know?
Yeah.
And my thing is the person that you're asking, if they needed your help, like you're not going to ask them if they don't need your help. Like you're not going to cold DM people. Cold DMs are like lame, just so you know. Anybody listening, don't do it. um but if you do that where it's like you already made it a sort of like a relationship, they are a lead, then you're just saying, hey, let me help you get to where you want to be. And it's not mooching off of them. In fact, you're helping them make that decision, take a direction. And it's not even a direction of saying yes to you. It's making a decision on yes, they're going to move forward, or yes, they're not going to move forward, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to say yes or no. Or sometimes they go, maybe not right now, but that's still like right then is still a no for the moment.
Right.
So at least they have some, instead of like fooling themselves or kidding themselves that they are making effort or progress by just being in the area as a lead, they have like they can string themselves along, and you asking them to make a decision helps them stop stringing themselves along.
Yeah.
So I think it's a
Yeah.
good answer.
Thanks. So, you said that you don't like cold DMing.
Nope.
Tomorrow is the first of the month here. That's when we're recording. So, tomorrow's the first. If you
Mhm.
were to try to make $10,000 this month, and it obviously is not going to be by cold DMing people, what would you do to make $10,000 a month this month?
So let me ask you this: are you saying that tomorrow is the 1st of June?
I believe so. Is it not?
No.
It. Oh, let me just go back to Erewhon and we'll find what the first of the month is. It's not. You're right. It's actually in like 3 days. So you have 2 days to prepare. You've got 2 days to prepare for the next month. What are you doing
Hmm.
to make $10,000?
Okay. I'm like, because this is getting released on the 3rd.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm just all over the place.
so I think when you're talking about like when we discussed even the title, smartest way to make 10K in a month in 2024. My questions, because I like to clarify things down because then it gives me the direction on how to answer it, is that in what way are you like what are you wanting to know for this month? Like you're zero and you need 10K by the end of the month, and like for a hypothetical, like you need 10K because you have to pay for this life-saving treatment for somebody that you love. Like that's the kind of
Let's start.
passion
Let's
I
start.
go into
Well,
it.
well, let's start with this. Let's say you are somebody who is
Hmm.
starting a brand new business. You're a wannabe entrepreneur. You have $0, zero connections. Where do you start?
So $0 and zero connections, and you're brand new. Have you had any work experience?
Let's say that maybe you went to, like, you're just fresh out of college, like you don't have, maybe you have some kind of, maybe you went to business school or something, or actually, no, maybe you don't even have business school. Maybe you just,
Hmm.
you know, you're just a regular person and you just, I don't know, maybe they did some kind of trade or something.
Okay. Because a lot of times what I say is you have to decide what you're willing to do if you're going to try to
Mm,
make 10K in a month. And there's a difference in making and choosing, hey, I need to make 10K this month, and I want to make 10K a month, like every single month, or I want to do this in a
hmm.
sustainable way.
Right.
If you're brand new, you have $0 and you have zero connections, the very first thing that you need to be doing is sitting down with a pen and paper and thinking about, one, is this going to be online, or is it going to be like, am I going to go do things in person to earn this money? once you have that decision down, because like if it was in person, I would say go ahead and scan your area and figure out like the season is, we're coming up in June. We're saying it's going to be, the time frame is summer, and there's people that need their lawn mowed, they need um their weed eating done. There's so many
Mm-hmm.
different like handyman projects that you could do and really like hustle and get to that 10K. I know a lot of people will be like, that's like, nobody's going to pay me 10K. No, you don't know what you could end up getting by just going out and putting yourself out there, because that's going to make you the most connections if you're trying to do something in your town.
Yeah.
Um, for instance, if you were talking about doing lawn care or something, I would say think about it where you could do, for every 10 yards that I mow, I'm going to go mow the elderly's house for free. You know, like what
Yeah.
is it going to cost you? A little bit of time and gas. Well, now you're going to get a ton of connections. You can prove yourself as far as like how hard you can work. And while you're doing that, you start to think about what would I want to do and try to leverage yourself to be doing this for the people that are business people that don't have time to mow their lawns, and you make connections with them, you do a good job for them, and then you could like pitch yourself to them with whatever offer you're willing to do. So then that would be more like, you talk to business owners, you could end up doing like their social media. And they already know how hard of a worker you are. You
That's
could
true.
be um, you could be offering to do like almost a virtual, not like a virtual assistant, but like you could offer to do virtual assisting for that business, like those people that you made connections with.
Yeah.
Or you could be just a personal assistant. So that's more like in person. If you're talking about online, I want you to write down like everything that you would find interesting, everything that you know makes a lot of money online, and try to connect the dots. So for you, it's like you do podcasting. But what would your answer be is like, what do you think makes the most money online?
Well, for podcasting, what makes the most money online is the connections that you make. Like you said, like you're going to meet a business and then you're going to make a connection with them and you're going to use that connection as leverage to make more money. So if
Mm-hmm.
I was to do it, I would try to just reach out to as many successful people as I could find and try to have them on the show, befriend them,
Mm-hmm.
and then maybe down the line we could talk about working together, doing something. Because that's the key. I heard a guy talk about the other day. He does something similar. He goes to a like a golf car, or was a like a golf trail bar thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it's where all the rich people play golf. And he'll go and he'll rub elbows with all these guys, and he'll buy them drinks and just sit and talk with them. And he landed himself a 7-figure job. He was a nobody, and
Yeah.
he just went and rubbed elbows with successful people. And I think that's really the key to everything, is meeting the right people, forming those connections. And that's how you can be successful yourself, because that rubs off on you. Their success can rub off on you.
Yeah. To jump back to what I was talking about as far as the in person ones, because as you were talking, my brain went, oh, also, if I was trying to make 10K a month in person, the way that I was doing it, I would go find all of the real estate agents
Mm,
and talk to them and say, I know that we're going to be having lots of rain. You're going to be wanting to show people the house, but you want to make sure that the lawns are like maintained and it's upkept. And I'm sure you guys already have a person, but this is something I'm really interested in doing. And what can I do to make it like, what can I do to make it easier for you and for your clients that are trying to sell their house?
yeah.
Give them a package deal. When you're doing that, you're going to be connecting with people that um, are going to be constantly needing you. They're going to constantly have referrals as well. Um, but the number one thing that makes money anywhere is marketing.
Mm,
So, what could you do to help with a real estate person's marketing campaign? Or what could you do when you're out there and someone says, hey, you're mowing this lawn, or like, let's say you just choose to mow a vacant lot that has been like an eyesore for the city, and then also um like a hazard as far as snakes and critters and stuff. And then people are like, thank you. Be like, no problem. Just so you know, the reason why this is getting mowed is because this person, this the realtor's name, uh decided to do it for the community so that you guys could feel safe from like critters
Yeah.
and all the bugs
Yeah.
and all that. So that's marketing in itself. And you could, there's so many different ways on how you could do that. When you're talking about podcasting, podcasting in itself is, from my perspective, is that you're able to speak about what you know, but you can also allow people a platform. And so if you were a podcaster and you really needed to make the money, then I like 10K that month is I would put together like a package where you are provide, like, I will make this marketing material for you if you come and you're a guest on my um podcast, and I will use those clips, and I will make you so much like content out there, and then I will even take the transcript of everything you said and then put it into an article that you can use that for your clients and all of that. And that's something that you could do, or you could tell your people for podcasting is like, and I think you've had this idea before, but making a podcast for your local area
Yes. Yeah. I wanted to
as
talk about that too.
yeah, so it's a marketing piece. So if you're trying to say you had $0, zero connections, podcasting is what I would tell the person to do. And I only know that because I've talked to you, because you don't really need much to get to the point of being able to make a podcast. Like, you can do it on a bootstrap budget. If you
Yeah.
needed something, like, let's say you didn't have the money to go get a mic, or you didn't have, like, you needed software or something, there's plenty of times where you can just look around you and be like, hey, that's been sitting there and I haven't used it. I'll get on
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace and I'll like hustle hard and sell it, you know?
Yeah.
So I
I
think
mean, this
that's
mic
like,
is $50 here. Like the mic that I'm using right now, it's $50.
mhm,
I mean, but if you absolutely had $0, you could start with your phone because pretty much everybody's got a phone. You could just talk into
mhm,
your phone. Spotify for podcasters, there's an upload button right there. Technically, you could have a podcast today just by doing that, and you could leverage all the people that you end up meeting with. Like, let me just explain what a local podcast is real quick.
mhm,
What you would do is you would start a podcast for your local town, and you would interview all the important people in your town. And eventually that podcast is going to start to grow because the people in your town are going to find it. You're going to post in in your town's Facebook groups and just different places, maybe show up at like farmers markets and just kind of promote yourself, your podcast. And you can start getting ad spots from from the local businesses around town. And they're going to want to pay it
mhm,
because everyone in town is listening to that podcast. It's just very, very, very niche because it's like your city. And so
mhm.
not only are you going to be meeting all the important bigwigs of your town, you're going to be making money from the different stores around the town. I mean, it's a really unique idea that I've never seen anybody talk about.
I think it's an interesting one too, because you could go different routes with it. So if you wanted to be
Hmm.
like the local town's food review
Yeah.
podcast, you could go around reviewing the food, and then also like take people out there. You could take some of the influential people and have them review the food, you know,
Hmm.
and do kind of like a podcast where you're talking with them and you guys are enjoying the meal and you talk about it, but you also let that person ex- like explain what they do. So like, if you, for lack of anything else, um, if you took a realtor out to this like local restaurant, you're doing a review for that restaurant, and you're doing like letting that realtor talk about what they do. And if you market it correctly, you would be able to get, not only like if you had a website where you put all this stuff and like the written articles and stuff, they're able to put that and send that out to their entire list. Because if realtors know that they need to have a list of people that like are leads, and they send that out to them as just like extra information of like, hey, I know you're new to the area, this podcast, I was on this and it actually does a review of different places. Like you might actually like Mexican food and you want to know the best Mexican spot. And so like there you go.
Yeah.
You're
There's so
making
many ways.
you're connecting a community because
Yeah.
community is such a big deal.
I mean,
Um,
it's like it's like the new version of a radio show. I mean, it's kind of a similar idea, similar kind of structure as you would in radio, but it's even better because it's not going to just be on the radio once and then go away. Like it's going to be out into the world forever. So it's kind
mhm,
of evergreen in a way.
definitely. So that's how I think that if you're trying to make it with like zero money and zero connections, that's probably the best way, but it is going to take a lot of like hustle and
It will be, yeah.
thinking through. It's not going to be the easiest way.
Yeah.
So
And you're going to have to currently go ahead.
I don't know if that would count as like the smartest way to make the money. Um if you really needed to make money and um we're talking the smartest way is that you would look at whatever skills that you had, like I was talking about. Um find the highest paying skill that you would have available and create an irresistible offer. So the when I just did a workshop on this and I went a little bit into it because like it wasn't like my full workshop on offers, but there's a high ticket and then there's low ticket and then there's high value and low value. Now, you don't really ever want to have low value. Like a low value is it's still valuable, but it's more of like just a basic lead magnet to get people maybe in the door, or you just skip it altogether. But if you're trying to get people in and you need them to make a decision and it's like a pre-sale to something, pre-sales are going to be the fastest way to make the money, and it's probably the smartest way too, just simply because if you know you have the skills to create it and you can deliver on it, then you already by pre-selling it with an irresistible offer, you are able to even confirm that people are going to want it before you create it.
Mm.
So smartest way would be that. But that is a one-time payment kind of thing, and you still have to do the work. So it's not necessarily the most sustainable. And that's why when you're looking at like I have to make 10K or I'm going to lose my house, or those are those extreme things, and that's not necessarily the way to set up a business. When if do we want to go into like what it would be to make it monthly, or if we were
Yeah,
talking
that's what I was
about
going to ask you next because I mean that's really the ultimate goal that you want to get to is MRR. Like how do you get 10,000 a month reoccurring? Because you can get a
Mhm,
10,000 a month, but then you got to eat next month. So what do you do?
right. So there's two different ways that like if you're talking about recurring, and let's just go ahead and stick with online.
Okay.
So if you are talking about I need to make 10K a month, and it is am I going to be spending all of my time doing this? Like is it going to be the high ticket um the high ticket and then the high value, and then also like high touch, meaning it's more of like a done for you.
Mm-hmm.
There's three types. There's done, do it yourself, do it with you, and then do it for you.
Right.
Typically, a high ticket is going to be closer to doing it with you or doing it for you.
Can you just give
Do
an
it yourself.
example of that what that would look like maybe for me? It's like a
Hmm.
done for you would be like I'm editing your show, like I'm
So,
editing your podcast.
for you, as a podcast producer, like that's what I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to give you the title of right now,
Okay.
is a do for you would be I'm going to have you coordinate if I'm going to have any guests. I'm going to have you put all of the podcasting stuff out there. I'm going to have you do all the marketing with it. I'm going to have you make all of the short form clips. And what I want to do is I only want to show up and come um, talk about whatever subject. But I want you to look at my business plan and make a map out of like what we should be talking about. Like
Okay.
like if it's fully done for you. There is also another step below that is done for you where um I'm the one that created the plan because I know what my and this is a smarter way because as a business
This is
owner I
still done
should
for
know.
you?
This is still done for you.
Okay.
I come up with the plan. I go, okay, these are the guests that I want, but I'm going to still have you be the one to contact them if it's like a cold outreach. If it's a
Okay, I see.
connection I have, then I'm going to reach out to them because I already have that connection made.
Right.
Um, and then I just show up, my guest shows up and you record for us. And then you take the recording, you edit it, you make the clips, you get me the transcript. I probably at that point, if I'm paying for it done for you, like high ticket thing, I'm gonna probably send that transcript over to somebody else, and they're gonna take stuff for captions or um, creating other content from that transcript. And then you would probably also be posting it for me. I'd have you send the clips to my social media manager,
Mm.
but you would have created them. So that would be done for you.
Okay.
Done with you would be similar to that. Like there's multiple levels that you could do where it's like done with you is like I still show up, but I'm the one reaching out to all my guests. Um I'm the one that's like I can help out with doing the transcript. I can help out with um telling you what clips I wanted from it. Um, Maybe I'm even editing it. Like you're helping me learn how to edit it. It's basically guiding me to be able to do it for myself, but you're
Yeah.
holding my hand along the way.
Mm.
Um, then it's where I do everything, but I bring it to you once I've done it all, and then I have you show me how to do it. And that's still done with you, but you see how there's two different tiers
Mm-hmm.
to that.
Yeah.
It's really about what kind of time commitment and support are you wanting to offer when it comes down to your sales. Like do it yourself would be you make the course and you show them everything based off of an example where they could put it side by side and then do it on their own. And that's
Yeah.
pretty like self-explanatory. um the support level that you would be giving is Monday through Friday, you can reach me via email. And if you have an issue or you have a question, you can send it and we'll answer you. But that's pretty hands off, you know?
Yeah. I mean, they all seem like they have a lot of work, like, but it's different kinds of work. So it's
Yeah.
really, I mean, one doesn't really seem better than the other. Do you think one of those is better than the other?
Yes.
Okay, go on.
So it short term, you want to work with the high ticket and high value,
Mm.
like, which means more of like your time. But that is a lot of your time and you're limited. You cannot really scale with that. And there's a lot of people that get confused with that they want to actually start a business and they get so focused on like, well, I don't know if this is scalable. It doesn't matter. You don't have a business yet. Like
Right. All right.
what are you going to what can you scale, you know?
Right.
And they get so focused on it. It's like, okay,
I mean, zero
let's
times zero is still
redirect.
zero. All right.
Yeah, let's redirect to like start somewhere and then you look from either side. Um so I would start with the high ticket and the high value only because you need to cover your bases, meaning you need to be able to make sure your bills are covered and you don't have any financial stress when it comes to your business growing. Because when you have the high ticket, then you're also going to be able to you'd have the resources to scale. And if you start low ticket, which is going to be more of the do it yourself and um, done with you kind of feel, depending on how you market it, it's going to be more time. You're going to have a lot of time in the beginning. I don't think with any business that you're not going to have a lot of time involved within the first couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you can do it on more of a like a mass base. So with the high ticket and the high value, you get a couple of those in. You work with them. You see what it's like to work with them. You get the questions that they have. And then you start to take from the like what you're doing with the high ticket, and you start to create like a course or even
Hmm.
like a coaching layout. That's when you start to introduce, like in your time off, like a group coaching, or a one-on-one coaching, where it's coaching is still done with you. It's not done
Yeah.
for you. Um,
I was going to ask you
and
next, like, what role do you think school plays in all this? The school, like the
school
school
is
community.
definitely a do with you and do it yourself. It's school in itself is not done for you. Um, I don't even think it's done for you as far as making the connections unless you have a lot of business people on there searching for somebody that can do it for you. You still want to have, like, I think it's always good to have an offer for do it for you unless you're very like, I do not want to be spending my time or slaving away to this.
Yeah.
Um, the the smartest way is to actually create the monthly recurring revenue via like the medium and the low ticket, because there's a way where you can set up group coaching or like basically a membership where you do show up multiple times a week, but like let's say you're spending like what 4 or 5 hours a week in your community, because you've already like if you're doing it the smartest way, then you do have a business plan in place. Not a business plan that you need to take to like a bank or something, but you do have like a business, like an everyday use, like where your direction's going, what you're teaching. And you spend that time wisely that you're in there. You make sure that you make like touch points with your people and your leads to keep them warm leads, and you offer like a few calls here and there, and they don't have to be long calls. They could be like 30 minutes, or even 45 minutes. You want to keep them short so that you can do more of them, so that people have more time to access you. Like it's not, oh, I couldn't make it to this call, so now I gotta wait till next week when I know I won't be able to make that call again. Like you want to give them some options on like time frame. Like some people are morning people and they have free time then, but they're night shift workers and so they're never going to make it there for your night call, you know.
All right.
um so that's how, like, if you're using school, you would want to do like a kind of a group community, kind of like a coaching thing. And then if you do a membership where you are like, and this is, I've already proven this, the best way to do it is you start a monthly recurring membership where you are now releasing courses monthly within the group that's only there for that month.
Hmm.
So you take this course and you're like, okay, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about broccoli. Okay. We're going to go over
Do
this is how you
tell.
grow broccoli. The first week is like you grow broccoli, and this is how you make frozen meals with broccoli, and this is how you make snacks out of broccoli. Like, so
I mean,
you
Microgreens Mike, he's got this one down.
yeah. For him, he's like, and this is like microgreens is the first week.
Yeah.
This is how you use it, and this is all the recipes. And so basically, you're going through and you're giving 3 weeks of instructions via video on the subject. So it doesn't even have to be that. This could be somebody that does like productivity. They're like, okay, we're going to be working about how it is to schedule your year. And then they're like, the next month is like, we're going to schedule your month or your
Mm.
quarterly. We're going to, next month, it's going to be about monthly, something like that. You'd want to break it up over time, you know, to where people are like learning your to do lists and like order for how to triage a to do list when you ran out of time, something, an emergency happened, and now you don't have the right time. So you take whatever you're teaching and you break it down into 3 videos, and then the last video or the last week of that month is simply a reflection and a review process and like Q&A week. So they take the 3 weeks of the first part of the month, they put a video out, that you have already pre-recorded. So you could do this at the very beginning of the month. Sit down and record those videos. They could be 30 minutes to an hour. And then you make a workbook that goes alongside it. And then so you have the video, you have the workbook, and from those you take little pieces that can be actionable steps from that week, and you post it each day. So now you have a 3-section course with Q&A at the very end, and you add that as a mini course into your website or your classroom. Like if you're doing it in school, it would be in your classroom. So people can be in the membership and take it as you're releasing it. So you're only releasing every Monday, you release the video and the workbook. And each day those little posts are put up there. And they have to be there the whole month to get the whole thing. Next month there's going to be a new thing, and this classroom is no longer available. But you can, because you are a member, you could purchase it at a lesser rate if you wanted to keep it forever. So now you're building up your catalog of courses, and they're based off of a mini course and a focus course. Hey, so now you have a focus course. Let's say you have December. You're not going to want to work December. You have all these holidays and all these things that you need to do. And so what you'll do is you'll take the focus course and it be on a very deep subject where it's you do the 4 weeks and it's going to be the video and the workbook. The last month, so the next 4 weeks, is going to be about applying it. And you will have to think about making an actual workbook with actual steps that they take to keep them accountable to actually doing the work that they learned the first month. But then that takes your hands out of it. You don't really have to work or show up except for maybe a Q&A each week. And what's that? Yeah. 30 minutes an hour. So that you won't have to worry even because there's a lot of people that get worried about churn. If you're showing up with that kind of value with a membership, you don't have to worry about churn because people are now incentivized to staying in your group because you are releasing something every single month.
Yeah.
And because you're smart, if you're smart, you will sit there and you will go through it for a week, and if you took a week to just focus on making these courses, you could have an entire half year to a year completed.
Yeah.
And all you're having to do is show up. And the only time that you will have to worry about churn or you'll have to worry about anything is if you start to get greedy. Now, this has happened. I helped somebody get to 7 figures in less than a year. And this is the plan that I had this person on. And it started getting to be $125,000, $134,000 a month in income coming in. And as content was being created for this person, they were no, that's too much information. They're getting too much. I don't want to provide that much value. Why would they buy anything? And then they were getting resentful of the fact that all these members were able to get these courses for free while they were in there. I'm that's the whole point of your membership.
Yeah.
And they started to take things away. They basically destroyed the business that they created. And I'm that's your choice. If you're willing to kill your own business, then that'll happen. There's no way you can stop someone from doing that. But people, you don't understand, when you have all that catalog of courses and you have a membership, let's say somebody comes in 6 months later, but they wanted the mini course that you had 4 months ago. They might ask about it in your community, which is where you're hosting the membership. And then everybody's I loved it. I went through that. It was so good. It's so worth the money. So you're selling these courses the whole entire time, even though you've already, a lot of people have already been a part of it. You could have had 1,000 people take it, but you're going to be getting more people that end up wanting to take it because they read all the good reviews on it.
Yeah.
So that's how I think that's the smartest way to do it, is to have a
So just,
membership.
yeah, just go ahead and do an overview of it again. So would
Okay.
you keep the courses? Would you say you would take them away, or you would keep them in there? So you do a new
I would
one.
take them away. Yeah.
You take them away. Okay.
It's like I would make it, you want to make it very clear that, because what you're doing is you're offering a low membership. So
So
like
when you say low, like give me a range.
$35.
Okay.
I know I got it up to 60,000 in just the membership alone. So like when I was talking about like 125 or 134,000 a month, it was like, I think the highest it ever got to was like 72,000 was just the membership. The rest was from sales of those old courses that we had already released. So I mean, like, now you don't have an excuse to not make content. You don't
Yeah.
have an excuse to make courses anymore. You can't procrastinate, because guess what? You're going to have to release them for
Yeah.
your members.
Yeah. I like
So
that idea.
it kind of incentivizes you to do it. But what you do is, so you guys are, everybody listening to this one, this is like if I was to take you on as a client, and I charge 6 figures for a client that I would actually walk through and do this. I'm just going to give it to you right now. What you're going to do is you're going to sit down and you're going to write down what your business plan is. And when I mean a business plan, I'm talking about your everyday use. You're going to like look back at this. And what I want to do is I want to teach podcasting. So if I want to teach podcasting and I want everybody to know how to do this, the first month is going to be the basics. So I'm going to create a course in the first 3 weeks. It's going to be, this is the equipment setup. This is how you get it on this channel. This is how you let people know what it's about. Cool. Last week is going to be Q&A, and we're going to go in depth and make sure that everybody's got this. Cool. That course, because I made it so affordable, it, just so everybody knows, the reason why I'm making it affordable is because it's just to incentivize me to make sure that I get this course out. This is not, you can buy this course at a discount because you were a member, but it is not going to be available. It's now going to be just available to people that have purchased. So you change it from all members, like if we're in school, change it from all members to just members of that course. And you send them out an email saying, if you want to get it, you can get it for like 75% off because you were a member. Because, like, why not? It's extra money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, going forward, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know about how to get a guest on your podcast. So the first week is like, determine who would be a good guest and who's going to benefit your podcast. Second week is how to reach out to them. Third week would be like how to prep your guest, and then how to make sure that they promote your podcast after they've been on it. Fourth week, you go ahead and write down, all right, this is the Q&As. You had a question like, this didn't make sense. How do I actually make sure I get a guest that is lined up? I was asking just everybody to be a guest, and now I'm realizing, like, how do you ask somebody not to be a guest anymore? Like, I don't know. Any questions that come up for them.
Yeah.
Cool. So now that one's out there, everybody has gotten to be a part of that. You're going to make it from all members to closed, only people that have purchased it. And you're going to have people that loved it so much that they want to keep access to those videos forever. And, or that stuff. And you just say, please honor the fact that I'm giving this away at such a low value, that I want you to make sure that you're showing up and you're doing it each week. This also incentivizes them to actually be more active and ask questions because they know it's going away. So then you go, so like what you're doing at the very beginning is you're setting down, like, this is January, this is February, this is March, this is April. And you create that entire thing. You sit down, you make those videos, and then you're able to use that information to go then make your content. So now you already know, based off of your business plan, because these are the offers that I'm offering, I know that January, all of my content that's going out needs to talk about like podcasting basics and everything, and let people know you can get in really low, etc. You can get my checklist of all the equipment you need. which, by the way, if you have an equipment list, you need to have an affiliate kind of program going on. Go sign up to be an affiliate, because this is about money. This is a business. Second one, all of your content that's going out there, whether it's on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter, now you're talking about having a guest on your podcast. So you don't even have to think about what your social media map is going to be, because it's based on your content and on your offerings.
Makes sense.
You do those focus course ones, which when you're talking about selling them, it depends on where your range is. So I talk about 3 different types of courses. You have your main course, like become a podcast guru. That's your overall course. Well, then you're going to have like mini courses, which is like podcasting 101. It's all the basics. Then it's like podcast, getting guests as podcasts or something. Like, come up with a good name. You know, you want it to be catchy. Then you have focus courses. Necessarily learn how to do editing in just one small mini course. And so you will take that focus course and you'll give all of the information you can over those 4 weeks. On the 4 weeks of applying it, they will be doing the editing, and they can screen record and then post it in your community and ask questions and stuff. But remember, that's kind of like a hands-off month. It's summer. You're going to go on vacationing and you're going to have your kids home, so you're going to spend more time with them. So make sure you schedule that focus course. When you go back, your main course should be like, I don't know, you can choose like anywhere between $5.97 and $9.97. Those mini courses, you would want to keep them more of like $99, like $97 to $197. Your focus courses would be like $297 to $397. So there's a difference in, even though it was just 2 months and you didn't have to create more content, you're still going to get more money out of it because it's more valuable. That course is like everything you needed to know about editing a podcast. So that is the best way and the smartest way to do it, because then you're going to be getting monthly recurring revenue, and it's going to be long-term, and it's only going to scale you up higher, because where you go from there is you can have a boot camp where now people, they wanted to get more time with you. They wanted to be like, okay, I want to just sit down in 30 days and become the best podcaster there is. And I need someone to hold my feet to the fire. So then you start like a boot camp, and then you charge like anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 to be a part of that. And you are active in there daily, but guess what? You can pre-record those videos. So you put a pre-recorded video every single day in. That is valuable. Hi, baby. No, we're not going to play with the slide right now. And so,
good job, Mike. Proud of you.
So where was I with that? Let me think.
Boot camps. Yeah, I was going to charge $1,000 for my boot camp. Everyone sign up now.
Not 1,000. Like probably more like 1997, between 1997 and 2,997. That is what the boot camp is. And so you pre-record those videos, and they are valuable, and it really is like you have to pack a lot of value in that video, but you post them, and you have people in that boot camp only for the month. Then they exit out of that community, and guess what? You have new people that are fresh going and can get started into it. But you already have all that pre-recorded information that you can just reuse. And if there's something like an update, you just update that one video. You don't have to update an entire course. And then you're going to have people that, like, it's always going to happen where you have people that want to do the one-on-one, or they're going to be like, this guy knows what he's talking about. I want him to take care of all my podcasting needs. Well, guess what? You already have a very lucrative business where you can be a little bit more hands off. So to get my time, to get the time with me to do that for you, I'm charging you 10 to 15K for me to do this monthly in order for you to get my time like
There you
that.
go. You just need one client to get 10K a month. There you go.
Exactly. In fact, I'll show you, like, I could show you, I have like I got a wire transfer like for like 23,000 at one point because I was helping somebody do this, and it was like no big deal because when you look at it, it's that's where all the money is like you're trying to make your business grow, and what you need is you need somebody that's going to look at every little angle of where your business could succeed and point them out to you because you're so busy in the business. So I think that anybody, if they would do it in this format, not only would they have a catalog of all this stuff, but they would also, they need to go get on podcasts. You know, any
Yeah.
business should have a podcast, and any business owner should be going on podcasts. You should also be an author, and that's a whole nother topic to talk about sometime. But
We got a question from the audience.
all right.
Would it be easier, Mike Hicks says, would it be easier to get one at 10K or 100 at 100?
It depends.
So we
on
talked
where
a little bit about this earlier about high ticket versus low ticket, which would be the easiest. And I'm trying to remember what you said. But go ahead.
So the easiest is going to be, well, I mean, so the best if you're starting out was to get the high ticket, because then you got your money covered for all of your business expenses. The easiest is usually low ticket, but it's not even at 100. If you're talking low ticket, it would be like, let's get 1,000 at $10, because it's easier to get that many people to say yes to something that like they can blink twice and say yes to $10, you know?
Yeah.
But the thing is that with 100 people, how many people did you have to get yes to say yes to say, or say yes to $100? And how many people said no? And how many people did you have to say ask to get the one for the 10K? It's usually way more no's that you have to deal with to just even get 100 at $100.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not very, like, you'll eventually fall upon the one that says yes to the 10K. But
Well, and when
you
you said
have to
like
be,
they wouldn't blink twice for the 100, some people aren't going to blink twice to 10K.
oh yeah. And it's just how the answer is based off of you. How confident in yourself are you where your value is at 10K? Because they're going to be able to feel that off of you. If you're going to say, hey, for $10,000, I'll do X, Y, and Z, and you feel like it's almost like, are they going to say, or you're already thinking in your head, they're going to say no, they're going to say no, then they're going to say no. And it's going to take a long time for you to get to that one person that says yes to the 10K. But guess what? That's going to be the biggest headache to deal with, because that person is probably going to say yes because they were desperate. And so they're going to constantly be asking you questions and like hitting you up on Sunday night at 2 a.m. And you're just like, oh, I don't want to deal with this person. Like, why did I even do that? So you also have to find the right yes to 10K. You want the person that's like, yes, here you go. You save. They're not, people that are paying 10K are not worried about saving money, by the way. They're worried about saving time. So they want you to just deliver quickly with the fastest way possible. Like, just save me the time so that I am now getting the return on my investment.
Yeah.
So it's easier to, when you're starting out, it's easier to look at yourself and be honest and say, I will, because let's say you had to talk to 100 people to get that one to say yes. How resilient are you after hearing no 99 times
or more?
Yeah. So I mean, and then you could get two that say yes back to back for the 10K. Like, that happens all the time.
And then you're set.
So it really, I think that's like, there's no real answer, because the answer is based on the person. That's one of those, it's like, I feel like it's contradicting or whatever, but it's not. It's like they're both easy for the type of person that you're talking to.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a good answer. Um, and I have loads more questions, but I think we're probably gonna have to do a part two, like just like every other time, because you just have so much knowledge up in that brain, and we're gonna have to get it out another time because we are at the hour mark. So, do you have
Okay.
any closing thoughts before we end it?
Just that everybody that is thinking they should make money online should definitely come talk to you because they need to start a podcast. Um, if you're trying to get to 10K a month, even let's say you're writing newsletters on Twitter, because that's like what I've been seeing. Everybody's trying to make money off of Twitter by writing newsletters and then teaching people how to write. Well, to establish yourself as an authority figure, you need to go ahead and get a podcast so that you can start talking about what you know. You know, like if you
Yeah.
talk about what you know on a podcast, you're already gaining know, like, and trust. Um,
Yeah.
maybe like what kind of offers do you have, Eric, as far as like done for you, do done with you?
Done for you?
Yeah.
Um, well, I am starting to put that out there now. Uh, where basically I handle all the editing and all the social media content. Um, I'm thinking about even maybe doing some of the guest outreach, possibly. We'll see. It's just because you are more likely to meet that yes person, that high ticket yes person, as a guest. If you guest on a podcast or have them on your podcast, because during a podcast, you're having an intimate conversation. You
Hmm.
might be talking about childhood deep dark secrets with this person, and now they feel like they've had this bond with you. You're more likely to get a yes from that person now because now you have actually made a connection. Like it's
Hmm.
networking. That's what it is. But it's networking on steroids. So that's why I think you should have podcasts, because you're more likely to get a yes from a 10,000 person than just off the street somewhere or a cold DM. Like you said earlier, we don't do cold DMs. We do
No,
podcasts here.
I got one the other day, and they were like, it was so embarrassing. I was just like, you know what, I can do this myself, but thank you.
Yeah.
Didn't
Well,
even look into my stuff, anyways. So you're doing some done for you now, and
yeah.
um, is it a 10K offer or is it less than that?
No, no, it's
Okay.
less than that. No, 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 no. Or should it
Okay.
be? No, no. We'll see.
Okay. So that's really good. And I think that you already have like people in your group, and there you also have a do it. Is it do it with you or is it do it yourself?
It's kind of. I guess it's kind of do it with you. I guess because like
Hmm.
I want to make myself available. Like if they have anything, I don't mind jumping on a call with somebody and like if they have editing questions, kind of showing them. Um,
How to do it.
yeah.
Sweet. Well, I will be eventually sometimes telling you guys what I'm doing, but I currently have the workshops that I just did, and I'm going to release that. So maybe next time when we're talking about um, like a follow up to the smartest way to make 10K in a month, we can also bring into the conversation of like how would that look in an actionable sense, and then I'll tell you what I'm doing. So
I can't wait. I'm really excited for it, and I'm excited for this podcast as well. And I just
yes.
want to ask everybody, if you've made it this far, give us a review, follow us, like us, maybe follow this YouTube, you know, do all the
Go find
things.
Eric on Podific. Start a
Yeah, go to
podcast.
Pontific. Yeah, start a podcast. And, if you want to do it faceless, I think I know somebody that knows a lot about faceless content creation. Quinn. So that'll be it for today. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and we will see you not in a few days. Next time.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.